Not long ago we released this video. It was the brief overview and introduction of the Gigabyte G1 Gaming 980 Ti at Computex 2015, and at that time we could obviously see the card aesthetically, but the effectiveness of the cooling and the performance of the card, especially when its various clock speeds were unannounced, was a mystery. Now that we have the card in hand, it's time to go over everything in more detail and get the under-the-hood look at this bad boy to see what it can really do. By the way, Brandon and I visited an amazing new tech mall in Taipei and took a bunch of fancy B-roll footage and whatnot, and we'd like to show you guys what's up with that tech mall because it's honestly kind of fantastic, but Linus is rather unsure about it, so slam that like button and let him know you want to see it. FreshBooks is the super simple invoicing solution that lets you get organized, save time, and get paid faster. Click now to try it for free. First up, performance hardware. Gigabyte's premier GTX 980 Ti is rocking a stock base clock speed of the 2816 CUDA-core equipped GM200 chip of 1190 and a boost clock speed of 1291. Although this isn't really what you actually get. In a good way though. Don't worry if that's confusing, we'll get more into the performance later on. By the way, there are two modes for this card, gaming mode and OC mode. Even if you're not overclocking, just run the card in OC mode. Gaming mode just nerfs your base and boost clock by about 50 MHz compared to OC mode, and that's just silly. Gigabyte was a little less aggressive in the memory department, running the stock amount of RAM at 6 GB at a speed of about 7010 MHz. The G1 Gaming 980 Ti is cooled by the same 3x 600 watt cooling system as the previous G1 Gaming 980, but it has some various aesthetic changes which I think look great. First up, they added some silver coloring to the outside of the cooler's front, which looks really sharp and a lot more active than the previous all black design, but could also potentially conflict with some color setup builds, I think, but almost all cases will be fine with it due to the still generally muted color palette. Then we have the LED backlit WindForce logo on the top of the card, which isn't technically full RGB, but can be set to white, yellow, blue, purple, red, green, or teal to match almost any build you might have. You set these colors through the Gigabyte OC Guru 2 utility software, which you can download from the support and download section of the Gigabyte G1 Gaming 980 Ti website. On each side of this backlit logo is a button to stop the fans if you want to move into silent operating mode, and we'll turn the main logo LEDs off and turn the white LEDs behind said respective buttons on. I do have a gripe with this. Some people might bring up that having a button on your graphics card is not going to be all that helpful for most people that will probably have this card inside of a computer case and they don't want to take off their side panel and press a button inside their computer when they could just control it with software. But I'm not going to complain about added features when they don't really hurt anything. My problem with this is that one of the buttons says silent and the other button says stop. Please, if you're going to have two different buttons that do the exact same thing, at least name and label them the same way. Anyways, moving on. This card also comes with Gigabyte's Flex Display technology, which allows you to plug in up to 4 monitors at the same time using some various plug groupings. You do this by choosing an additional DVI-D or 2 additional DisplayPort plugs over your already existing DVI-I, DisplayPort, and HDMI plugs. A great feature for adapting to your various potential display adapter needs. The WindForce 3X cooler has 3 fans, 5 8mm heat pipes, and 1 6mm heat pipe. The fan blades have a special striped design or stripped design that Gigabyte claims to increase airflow by 23% compared to traditional fans and also reduces air turbulence. Other than that, we have a fairly expected setup. On top of the right-hand side of the card, you have your standard set of dual 8-pin power connectors, SLI fingers on the left side, and a black PCB hidden under all of those fancy aesthetic improvements that we mentioned earlier. We don't have an acoustic chamber yet. Maybe in the new office? Linus? Maybe? I don't know. Either way, it wasn't that bad under load and was able to even keep the card quite cool with an ambient temperature of 32 freaking degrees Celsius. Just before we get into the performance section, I'd like to remind you guys that NVIDIA has some tech inside this card, including classics like SLI, CUDA, and GeForce Experience, and all the new stuff that was introduced with the GTX 980 Ti, like G-Sync full screen windowed mode support, DirectX 12_1 support, and VR rendering optimizations for rendering fewer unnecessary pixels, which you can learn more about in Linus's original 980 Ti launch video by clicking here. Overclocking the G1 Gaming 980 Ti was odd, but unsurprising. I mentioned earlier that it had an 1190 stock clock and a boost clock of 1291, but in actuality, without any tweaking or changes on my end, it was able to achieve a boost clock of 1370 all on its own. That's quite an improvement over the already existing boost clock. This has been going on for a while now, if you haven't noticed yet, and we're actually looking into making a video comparing a whole bunch of the same card to see all their various boost clocks on their own, but it's a little difficult to round up enough cards to make the sample size actually mean anything, so don't hold your breath waiting for that one. For actual overclocking manually, it did pretty well to a core clock actual of 1480, but one problem I did have was some weird voltage issues. My card got upset when I applied any additional voltage to it at all, which is a little weird, and I would expect most people to get around 1525 to 1550 with this card, as my overclocked power draw and thermals really didn't get that high due to the voltage causing the card to crash prematurely. In terms of performance, it did really well, even beating out the previous king, the Titan X, at stock speeds and absolutely running away with things when overclocked, in every single game that we tested, with no outstanding issues anywhere. In conclusion, the Titan X just got wrecked for gaming. We all knew it wouldn't last, although I must admit this was a little faster than I had expected. Having the G1 Gaming 980 Ti walk all over the Titan, even when not overclocked, was damn impressive.
And mass drop! So we've got a drop for you guys today. Visit drawdops/Linus Tech Tips, and actually this is a deal from our buds over at Sennheiser. This is the Geforma Zero. I think they mean game, but it's leet speak or something along those lines. It's a pretty awesome gaming headset from Sennheiser. One of the hallmarks of Sennheiser gaming headsets is their excellent boom microphones, and you can get this one for $179 instead of $249, which is the MSRP, as long as at least 5 people jump onto the drop, which is good news for you if you want to get it at that minimum price, because as of the time of filming this, there's already 15 people on it. So yeah, basically our work is done and we haven't even started. What work are we doing? Well, we want to tell you guys about massdrop.com. Great site. They basically run out and find great products, and then they kind of go, okay, if we can find enough people to buy this thing, how low can you go? Manufacturers and distributors come in and they say, okay, well, if you can get 10 to buy it, you get this price. If you get this many, you can get an even lower price. And the whole community works together for basically coordinated group buying. So you can visit drawdops/Linus Tech Tips for whatever deal it is that we're on about, or you can just browse the Massdrop site where you can find all kinds of cool stuff, from gaming headsets to keyboards to knives to, well, you get my point. We picked up an audio recorder there not that long ago. So check it out now. Awesome site, become a member. It's free until you start buying a bunch of stuff, then it's not free. That's the trap.
Thanks for watching, guys. If this video sucked, you know what to do, but if it was awesome, get subscribed, hit the like button, or even consider supporting us directly by using our Amazon affiliate code to shop at Amazon, or buying a cool t-shirt, like not this one, but other cool ones that we have, or supporting us directly through the community forum. Now that you're done doing all of that stuff, you're probably wondering what to watch next, so click the little button in the top right-hand corner to check out the CoreFX 4DFX haptic gaming vest video, where I get my chest very unfortunately lightly massaged.